We are firing up Dungeon Campaign by Synergistic Software. Nice little title screen splash, and it says copyright 1979, but the author himself actually released the original version late in like December 1978, and then of course it was repackaged. Like this version says 1979 because it was packaged with the later release Wilderness Campaign. And as you start off, you can see it's drawing a map for level 1. Now this looks a lot like Advanced Dragon Maze. This is the game I was talking about, that Advanced Dragon Maze had the technology to generate mazes, and they used that in this game to auto-generate 4 levels of dungeons. And your job was to escape the dungeon. The control scheme's a little confusing. It's not like a cursor arrow. You actually use U for up, D for down, L for left, R for right, but just like Advanced Dragon Maze actually, but you get used to it. It's not the worst thing in the world, but they show you the map as it's drawing, and you might take a quick snapshot of it or something, but it's kind of fun to explore. After it's drawn, it hides it all, and then you get to start running around and exploring it, and you have a dwarf who makes the map. And you run into things on the map like pterodactyls. It's an interesting spelling, isn't it? But they will send you elsewhere. Sometimes it drops you down to another level. There's a gas exposure. There we go. There's a gas where you have a few steps you have to escape from the gas area before it harms you. And let's see. The whole object is to get down to the 4th level and escape. Ah. There we go. There's another challenge that you encounter, the Evil Necromancer. Boy, that name comes up a lot. Very Tolkien-esque influences early on in a lot of these games. Now I'm on the 3rd level, actually, because unfortunately I've run into some bad luck, and before I've had much a chance of exploring, I've been sent down levels, and now I'm attacked by Cyclops. A group of Cyclops, and this is Cyclops, excuse me. And this is where the combat system takes over. You start a sequence of random generated numbers. You hit a spacebar to stop it, and that gives you your number. Then you do the same thing for the enemy number, and all those calculations add up to whether you get hit or whether you hit them. And here I am just getting clobbered. I'm going to fast forward just a little. I've already lost 5 of my party, and then the dwarf was killed, which means once the dwarf's killed, no new map. You can wander around all you want, and it shows you where you're at. It's almost like you'd have to map it yourself, like most early RPG games. But this game's kind of fun in that it has an auto map, unless you lose your dwarf. So that sucks. You see what's happening now as I move around. I can see where the outlines are when I'm moving, but there's no permanent. So this game was just a bust from the beginning. Getting dropped down a bunch of levels. I didn't even have a chance to explore. And I lost my dwarf. So let's... and I was going to show you, I actually made it out. But I noticed you got out of the dungeon with 0 quadroons worth of gold. That can't be right. You know, you got to be able to find stuff. This is like a sort of a success, but only 7 of my party survived, and you start with 15, I think it is. 13, 15, can't remember. So I'm starting to play again, and this is what you have to search every single square, and you can see right here I found 1,100 quadroons worth of golden jewels. I don't know how heavy that would be, but it seems like it would be exceedingly heavy. But yeah, so after you learn that, you have to search every single square if you want to find a bunch of quadroons. And that's basically your score. At the time you leave, there's 2 scores, how much treasure you escape with and how many players you escape with. So my goal is to escape with a whole bunch of money and all my party intact if I can do it. And each level has a boss character. I just ran into him here on purpose to show you. There, the dragon on level 1. But I had a magic sword, which is neat, because if you have a magic sword, it will kill the boss character, in this case, the dragon. I also noticed that it's kind of random. You can reload your game and do a search again, and you might find more or less. Or you can find a map like this, which fills in a bunch of missing spaces. It's interesting because when you find a map, it reveals random things. Like, it doesn't just fill in everything. So sometimes a map is more detailed, sometimes it's less detailed, sometimes it gives you items that are on the map, sometimes it gives you nothing. But this is my 2nd time through, and I'm going to escape here, and And there we go. See, this time I escaped with 12,800 quadroons worth of gold and all 15 of my party. It says only 15 of your party survived, though, which I thought was odd because that's all of them. That's a good deal. What's going on here? So I searched through the code and found the line, and sure enough, it's hard-coded. You got out of the dungeon with this many quadroons worth of gold and jewels, but then it's the next line, only number of your party survived, though. So even if you escape with all 15, it's same line, only 15 of your party survived, though, as if that was a bad thing. I thought that was kind of funny. They didn't even have an if-then in the programming. Let me show you one other thing that's really cool. Like the boss levels on each level are neat. The one here on the 4th level is a Spectre, and it's like this glowing thing that's chasing me up at the top, you see. And when it gets to you, there it goes. The Spectre got one of your party. It carries one of your guys off. Bye! And randomly tells you who you... See, now I have only 12 in this case. Your total strength goes down as your party diminishes also, so it's less likely that you'll win in encounters. But isn't that cool? Here comes a Spectre flying through the walls. It's a hard level because you notice I didn't explore it all on my winning game. It's because as you explore it, the Spectre comes out and you don't kill him. Your magic sword does nothing to him. So you're basically in a timed situation here. And when your time's up, I'm trying to escape from the Balrogs too. Yep, there it goes. Spectre takes away another one of my party members. So that's kind of a little overall look at Dungeon Campaign. Really awesome little game. It's very playable, very completable, and whether you call it 1978 or 1979, it's still very early on for RPGs and CRPGs, and I thought it was a great first entry, and I'm looking forward to playing Wilderness Campaign next. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching.